WWE has a problem. Now, before Clash in Italy, I wanted to record a little YouTube video called WWE has the opportunity to do something great. Because I felt when I looked at the match card going into Clash in Italy, Cody versus Gunther, Brock versus Over, Soul versus Becky, Roman versus Jacob, looking at those matches specifically, I felt like WWE had the opportunity to, I know Triple H uses this a lot, but usher in a new era. You know what I'm saying? They had an opportunity to build new stars. If Jacob had beaten Roman, Soul did beat Becky, if Oba finally got rid of Brock, I know he's probably going to get rid of Brock, but we'll talk about how this loss damages him later. WWE's decision to have Brock win and Brock and Roman win and Cody still win, it highlights the inability to create new stars. Because one thing I felt like they did at first when TKO came in and when Triple H took over is they revitalized the old stars that were kind of dead. Your Kevin Owens, your Sami Zayns. They gave them new life and made them big stars again, you know. But in terms of creating new stars, I can only name Gunther. And even then, Vince had started Gunther's push. Vince had already given Gunther the IC title and the unbeaten run. So it seemed like Vince was already going to back Gunther. I can't look at anybody and be like, this is a star that they have created. They are potential stars, but the problem is they don't crown those stars. Like, especially over the past 3 years, since 2023, there's been an emerging crop of talent that could lead WWE into possibly what I would say would be a boom period in terms of the quality of wrestlers we see, you know, the in ring matches, the quality of characters, the caliber of feuds we could have. But WWE doesn't want to bet on those guys. Like, just look at today. Let's start with Brock versus Oba. I know Oba is probably going to win this feud 2-1. But how does that help? What does one loss to Brock Lesnar do to Obafemi's character? Because now all the aura he gained at WrestleMania, and the fact that he lost within 6 minutes, 6:21, that's the time of the match. It's not like they had a 13-minute match where Brock took him to his limit and something like that. Even 13 minutes isn't the limit, but for Brock Lesnar, you're asking a lot for Brock to give you 13 minutes. If they had done that, I would understand. But for Obafemi to lose within 6.5 minutes, everything he accomplished at WrestleMania is gone. And what has he done in the meanwhile? The hardest opponent he's had is Otis, which is someone we know you don't want to bet on. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, Otis is not the greatest wrestler in the world, but he's decently over. But we know you're not gonna do anything serious with Otis. So it's like Obafemi could have gone on a long, I'm talking Goldberg-esque unbeaten streak. Maybe not Goldberg exactly because that doesn't work in the modern day. But Obafemi could have not seen a loss until 2027, and people would have not hated it. Especially if you pick the right opponent. And I'm not talking about losing to Cody, losing to Roman, losing to Punk, losing to Rollins. No, I'm talking about losing to someone that would properly benefit it. I'm talking about losing to a Gunther, losing to a Royce Keys, losing to a Trick Williams, losing to a Javon Evans, losing to a Dominic Mysterio, losing to a Jacob Fatu. I'm talking about losing to those guys, someone that you would look at them and be like, holy shit, they just beat Obafemi, who has not been pinned in over a year. That is what we needed to do. Now that's gone. Whoever beats Oba next is like Oba's been beat before, dog. It's not that big of a deal. Whoop de doo. Like that moment of finally being the guy to slay Obafemi is gone. So that's another star gone. In terms of Obafemi himself, yeah, he'll beat Brock and will be happy, but his aura has been tainted by the manner of the loss. Yes, he took a million F5s, but like, that's a cheap way of saying, oh, that's the only reason he lost quickly because the guy kept spamming his finisher. What else was supposed to happen? So yeah, then you look at Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. Oh, how did you take what was one of the greatest stories and greatest factions you had ever created and just made it bland? Like, look at the social media reactions. Nobody wants to see this feud. I mean, I'm not talking about Jacob versus Roman. This whole bloodline thing. Now the fact that Solo and the MFTs, why? So Solo can get his ass whooped again. We know Solo is not on Roman's level. We know Tonga Loa and not even Tonga Loa. He's gone. Tama Tonga. Yeah, Tama Tonga and Tana Tonga. Sorry, Tama Tonga and Tana Tonga cannot match to the Usos. And what does Jacob Fatu? Why this stipulation? Why must Jacob Fatu be forced to be back in the bloodline? He was in the bloodline 2.0. He already got his crowning moment where we had that I hate you. That's not going to be re-replicated when he leaves this current version of the bloodline. When he leaves this current version of bloodline, it's going to be like, okay, thank goodness. But you're not going to get that same pop that I hate you Solo got because that was him finally being free. Now you've shackled him again. And yes, it's against force, but it's like Jacob couldn't get the job done. So, not only does it not only does it look inferior to Roman for losing to him twice, but now his character's going back to forcefully being someone else's sidekick when that's not what he wants. He wants to be the main guy. He wants to feed his family. What's he gonna do now? Win the Intercontinental title of Penta? Like there's nothing really. Like, and now what? That means Roman's heel now. That means Roman Reigns practically gone back to being a heel because you can't tell me Roman Reigns is supposed to be this baby face, but he's forcing Jacob to be part of the family. He's doing to Jake what he did to Jay, doing Jake what he did to Jimmy. So we've gone back to the old tribal chief, but last year he was the whole story was Roman's changed his ways. Roman's no longer like the old Roman. Roman understands now, but does he really understand? Has Roman really grown? If now he's once again just forcing his family to just acknowledge him, obey him, do whatever he wants, like why not give Jacob his freedom? Why does this current version of Roman want to do what the old version of Roman would do if he is better than the old version of Roman? Just saying, man. Why would he want Jacob fired? This is a guy who's supposed to want the best for his family, but he wants Jacob fired. And for Jacob for two, yeah, I don't want to talk about it no more. And that's the thing. Just looking at these results, they've kept things stale, man. Like I can make another video on how stale the main event scene has been. I can make an entire another video about the upcoming stars that plan to come. But right now, I just wanted to get this backlash not this clash in Italy reaction off my back. Last thing I want to talk about is Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Hey, if you're hoping Gunther's winning the rematch, that finish tells me otherwise. That finish tells me that the only reason, like, if you actually wanted Gunther to win, you wouldn't screw him over in the first match. I saw someone say a theory of a triple threat of Gunther, Royce Keys, Cody Rhodes. They could have done that, and Gunther could have not lost. Royce Keys could have been pinned. Gunther could have got a rematch. Gunther wins there. Or they could have, like, having Gunther, once again, someone who had only lost 4 matches on the main roster up to that point, lose in such a screwy fashion, it's like they don't know what to do with him. Gunther is the most dominant wrestler they've had since Brock Lesnar, but they do not understand how to book him. You do not have him tap out to Jey Uso. You do not have him lose to Cody Rhodes twice. Why? Yes, Cody's your golden boy, but fuck it. Even Cena used to get his ass kicked by Brock. Like, he is your dominant monster. He is your beast. He is your unstoppable force. But time and time again, he feels stoppable for no reason. Yet he has the aura when you and kind of heads out to Gunther himself because every time he cuts a promo, he has that unstoppable aura that I'm the best wrestler in the world and I cannot wrestle anyone. Which is like my grief with it. Like Gunther is not booked how Gunther should be booked. Even when Gunther wins matches, Look at WrestleMania. Screwy finish. How many screwy wins does Gunther have? But Gunther is supposed to be the best wrestler. Like, watch Gunther wrestle. Watch Gunther cut a promo. And tell me why this guy needs to cheat to win. What about him tells you I'm a guy that needs to cheat to win? Because everything about him tells me I am so good, I will put you down. No matter who you are, I will outclass you, out wrestle you, put you in that chokehold, and you will tap or pass out. That's what we had during the Intercontinental title run. But now we're seeing a bunch of screwy finishes, and it's like they don't know what they're doing with Gunther. And they really do have a problem. I will make another video on their failure to create new stars and the stars they should be crowning. But right now, as we can see, they have a problem to create new stars. But hey, hats off to Sol Ruka. Winning the Intercontinental Championship already off Becky Lynch. The fact that Becky Lynch is in the Intercontinental title picture, man. Like, Roxanne was right there. The fact that you did Becky versus AJ Lee instead of Roxanne versus Roxanne Perez looks up to AJ Lee, but you did not do Roxanne versus AJ Lee. You telling me Roxanne couldn't have won the Intercontinental title? I don't know, man. They don't know what they're doing.